We have so honestly, as a culture, Catholic, Protestant, whatever, we have all been so silenced by, I think, the greatest cover up that I know, psychologically speaking, that any therapeutic effort to affect change in your sexual identity is a lie. It's coercive. It's conversion therapy, which as someone trained as a therapist, I have never heard the term conversion therapy in any of the psychological circles I've been in. That is a term from embittered, politicized gay people that maybe in their own efforts have been frustrated in their breaking out of homosexuality. I don't know their stories, but they have made it their reason to be to stop anyone else from seeking good and sound psychological help and identifying barriers to becoming, as a Christian would define it, a more sexually whole and mature human being. And that's now under the rubric of the decimation that conversion therapy has caused.
I mean, it might as well be like a law that you can't convert from Islam to Christianity. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's the same kind of thing. It's purely ideological kind of thing.
It's purely that. And so when someone like ourselves say, yeah, but we've actually made a pretty good adjustment to our lives with women and becoming creative and faithful and been pretty good, not perfect, but pretty good. It's all like, oh, but you didn't, this isn't about conversion therapy, is it? Like it's not conversion therapy. Just tell me, assure me. I'm like,
it's crazy how much that comes up.
This is funny. This is funny because I was seeing some weird corner of Twitter recently that I'd never seen before. It was like Indian Twitter. And all these like non-Christian Indians are like hostile towards Christians because they're like they do. You don't understand. We attack them because they're doing forced conversions. And when you turn out their definition of forced conversion is like any missionary activity is like forced conversion, right? Yeah. And so it's kind of feels like the same thing here. It's like some Hindu guy being like, "You're forced converting me." It's like, no, I just told you this is good, and you should, consider it.
Yeah, look into it. Like, be open. I mean, when you think of like the nature of therapy, it's all about free will.
Right.
It's all about, I'm paying you a lot of money. I can choose between 100 different therapists. Right. This is my commitment to achieve or to make progress in a certain direction, psychologically, whatever.
Yeah.
And so when this whole thing of it being paired with something coercive, with my will being fettered and your I mean, what kind of a therapist operates like that?
Right. I mean, I guess maybe people have in mind like some teenager who's being forced by his parents to do this or something like that.
Yeah. And that is something else. And you always have to be appropriate to the age and the will and the reality that kids and young adults, they have to make moral decisions and we can't make them for them.
But a parent might face up to the exact same problem with a child who's gotten into drugs and they want their kid to go to rehab. And it's like, well, I can't ultimately make him, and it might do harm if I try but it's no different of an issue. It's not this like uniquely dangerous kind of thing.
Yeah. It just may be that that the kid isn't going to make any progress because he really doesn't want to go there.
Right.
And so, so all of that, I think we need to reclaim, I appreciate your bringing this up earlier. We need to reclaim conversion from the misuse of conversion therapy,
right?
Becoming a more sexually whole and mature person, including cultivating a healthy, respectful view of the opposite sex. That's all part of conversion.
Right.
That's not about this dastardly form of therapy that's always lurking in the shadows.
Yeah.
And I don't say that like, I mean, this is the APA. This is the AAMFT. This is the AMA. I mean, these are big, organizations that have taken up this case against something that really is a straw man. So apart from all of that, I think we need to understand Christian conversion as having something to do with becoming sexually whole and mature.
Right.
And I would say Living Waters is helpful if one wants to make progress in that aspect of their conversion.
I think too, just in conversation, to define the term, like what do you mean by conversion therapy? I feel like it is such a verbal voodoo of just shutting down any kind of conversation of can we actually think this through, and can we define what we mean by that? I mean, if you're thinking coercive shock tactics, it's like that honestly doesn't even exist. But are we talking about a person reconciling to their biological, anthropological self? Then we need to just discuss that. But I feel like that the conversation is just shut down so many times today.
Right. And the nice things, once you get past the thing of avoiding sort of outright sins, mortal sins, venial sins, if you're able to admit these things to yourself, I have these psychological issues, whatever, I have these pathologies. It's not about repressing. It's not about violently forcing your psychology to change all at once. You can give yourself this, you can be patient with yourself and gentle and be like, this is a path that I'm on. And it's not always a matter of am I sinning or am I not sinning? The sin would be in lying about yourself or in pretending you aren't the way that you are and not seeking progress, and failing to seek progress might lead to sins. Or you might make mistakes, you might make false steps on the way in seeking healing. But, it's not that if I'm still have these feelings or something, then therefore I am not converted or I'm not being a good Catholic or something like that. So maybe that's part of the thing that some people might fear about conversion therapy, that it sort of sets this rigid goal that you have to meet or else you're not converted. I mean, I think that a sufficiently Catholic notion of conversion is enough to kind of dispel that idea. And a sufficiently psychologically sensitive understanding of conversion, that conversion is about more than just avoiding sin. But at the same time, it's not something that you can, the sort of the psychological changes that happen, they might sometimes lag behind the actual conversion of the will or things like that.